Shalom Uvracha. The beginning of the book of Bamidbar, the book of the wilderness, starts with a count of the Jewish people. There's a census, a national census. And the question is why? This census occupies several chapters to the degree that in English it's called the book of Numbers, because the census is so dominant. Why count the Jewish people now? Says Rashi, it's to show their love in the eyes of Hashem, their fondness. Hashem counts them the whole time. We've been counted before, we're counted again. But I'd like to explain something of the depth, of the specific love, the specific counting right here at the beginning of Bamidbar. And that's by quoting from the Mishnah. The Mishnah at the end of Sanhedrin says that Kol Yisrael, all of the Jewish people, have a portion in the world to come. Chelek le'olam haba. And how do we know this? From the Pasuk. It says, V'amech kulam tzadikim, your nation are all righteous, le'olam yirshu aretz, forever they'll inherit the earth. And that means the physical earth, the land of Israel, the promised land, but also the spiritual land, the world to come. There's a condition for that. And the condition is that we feel, we identify as a part of the nation. V'amech kulam tzadikim. Your nation. If you're not a part of the nation, one of the people that doesn't have a portion in the world to come is somebody who separates himself, who says, I'm not a part of this story. I'm detaching myself from the Jewish people. Perish midarkei tzibur. If you're not a part of that nation, the community, then you lose your portion. And perhaps that's the message at the beginning of Bamidbar. Bamidbar is the book of journeys. It's a book of journeying from the starting point to the end point of entry into the promised land. V'amech kulam tzadikim le'olam yirshu aretz. It's the nation that can inherit the land. We can't inherit the land as individuals and not even as tribes. There's no covenant between any single tribe and any single group with Hashem, with God. The covenant is made with the entire nation. And the only way to reach the destiny, to reach the promised land, is to be a part of the nation. And then even though there are peaks and troughs, there are beautiful moments in Bamidbar where we travel with the Torah, and there are terrible hardships in the sins of the spies and in Korach and his congregation and so on. But the promise, the guarantee that we reach the final destiny is a national guarantee. It's by belonging to the entire people. That's why at the beginning of Bamidbar we have a count. We bring all of the people together, irrespective of tribe, and we say all of you are a part of one nation. You're a part of one people, and that one nation travels together. And that's how we reach the final destiny. The final destiny at the end of Bamidbar of being at the gates of the promised land of Eretz Canaan, Eretz Yisrael. This is so relevant for us today because even though many of us live in concentrations from 100 countries in Israel, in the land of Israel, and in other places around the world, but nevertheless we remain fractured. We remain divided by identities, whether belonging to a Hasidic group, whether to one of the Litvish communities, whether the Sephardim, whether the religious Zionists, the modern Orthodox, the Haredi, those who are not affiliated to these groups, each of us has his identity, and that identity has a danger of becoming the primary identity. The beginning of Bamidbar tells us that our primary identity must always be, I belong to the Jewish people that has a special covenant with God. That's my identity. My other identities, whether it's a Haredi group or religious Zionist or modern Orthodox or whatever it is, can only be secondary. It can only be what else do I represent? What else do I bring to the Jewish people in a religious sense, in a cultural sense, in whatever sense? And that's beautiful and important, but it's not primary. The primary identity that we learn from the beginning of Bamidbar is to be a part of the Jewish people, and only so, only thus, can we continue the journey till we reach the final destiny, the final place that we want to come to, the Eretz HaMuftachas, the promised land, and the destiny within the promised land that we still so await. The Kadosh Baruch Hu should help us to speeden this process, to hasten it, to reach its final destination, its final expression together. All of us, each group, each tribe, each one of us, united with the primary identity of belonging to that Jewish people, and we should all have a beautiful Shabbos.